Get cool stuff for what you were going to do anyway. Drink beer. With Buy Beer, Get Gear from Labatt, you can just snap a photo of your receipt and upload it to the website to rack up points for exclusive merch. Get points for every purchase, whether you're grabbing a pint on draft, a case for a party, or a tall boy at the stadium. Any size, any product, anywhere you buy Labatt. Buy Beer, Get Gear. Sign up now at rewards.labattusa.com.
Now, stand back for your own safety.
Steve, what's up?
Congrats on the win.
Thanks, Steve. Where Paulie at?
Here we go.
I'm checking out. I will respond to you, but I'm done for the week. I'm done.
Steve is my favorite part of the show. How's that?
Yes. I like that. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Check for sound.
Pleasure to be on there talking with Paulie, man. He's a good dude.
I'm an idiot. I'll just shut up and let you talk. I was trying to help.
And shout out to Tupac.
3, 2, 1, and
This is Orange Nation.
Well, hello, Paulie and Steve.
With Stephen Fonte and Paulie Sibilia.
Check it out. Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to have you with us. Alongside Paulie Sibilia, I'm Stephen Fonte. We welcome you into a Thursday edition of Orange Nation. That means it's Fran Brown Day on the show. We'll talk with the head coach of the Orange, most likely coming up here in a couple of minutes, so stay tuned for that. And then the voice of the Orange, Matt Park, at 1:30 as we get you set for Syracuse and Pittsburgh. Plus, we'll mix in your phone calls throughout at 315-437-7644. What's up, Paulie?
Not much, Steve. How was your night?
My night was fine. Spent it at work and watched a lopsided baseball game and went to, we had a lot of sound to sift through from Syracuse Basketball Media Day, rather. ACC Basketball Media Day was last week. The Orange holding their version of that yesterday, and we heard from Autry and all the players. And, it's funny. It is almost like Media Day in some ways is like an introduction, right, of the players to the team. And in the past, we've always known a lot of the players, right? And it was like, oh, we might get to know a few freshmen or there might be a transfer. Now it truly is like an introduction on Media Day. It's, two of the players, everybody else is brand new. So, we're starting to get to know the guys a little bit and hear from them and hear from Coach. And, basketball season is just about upon us. A week from Saturday is the preseason opener.
Speaking of hearing from coaches, we'll be hearing from Fran Brown sometime here really quickly, I'm assuming. We'll have him earlier than usual. It's more like when we normally have. It has
been usual now, yes. And anytime between 12 and 12:30.
Steve, I'm interested to find out, Ricky Collins said it, Coach Brown says it all the time, like they got to go out and have more fun.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's got to be hard to have fun. They're playing a game, but and it's not just at Syracuse. There's just so much distraction. There's so much outside noise. Like, one coach getting fired has just made it, miserable for other coaches all around the country. They had nothing to do with it. The quarterback struggle, social media is all over them. You can't avoid the noise. How do you deal with all that?
Yeah, it's a great question. There's a lot that coaches have to deal with these days, right? There are a lot of distractions out there and added distractions with NIL and transfer portal and as you're saying, other jobs and whatnot. So it's something that they got to navigate. And I do think that the bye week came at a good time, and we'll hear from Coach Fran here in a moment and get his thoughts on how they handle the bye week. But I would imagine that not just physically speaking, I think from a mental approach as well, this bye week probably came at a good time. After 2 straight losses, let everybody kind of reset and get ready for the second half of the year because it's been a long first 6 weeks. A lot has happened. Your quarterback's been injured. You start 3-1. You lose back-to-back games. This was a chance, I think, for them to reset and get ready for the second half of the year.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I'm interested in finding out. I want to find out, we're all Monday morning quarterbacks, and we could sit here and be like, well, he should be throwing this pass. Like, what as a head coach, what has he seen as growth from Ricky Collins that maybe the average Joe doesn't? Because we don't know.
Yeah, and he's with them every day in practice, and I would have to imagine, it's just like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get. And I would have to imagine the more snaps he's taking with the ones at practice and the more comfortable he's going to get. He's going to settle into that role as the starting quarterback. And, let's see what happens, moving forward here, and let's see how he reacts to, a couple weeks to get ready for this Pittsburgh game. I've been saying it all week. I think that, the fact that they're coming off of 2 straight losses, it feels like their backs are against the wall. They've had extra time to prepare. It's a home game. It feels like the season's on the line to some degree. I expect we're going to see SU's best effort come Saturday night against Pittsburgh. I think SU is going to be in a position to win this game. Now, whether or not they do, that remains to be seen. Pitt's a really good team as well, but I do think this is going to be a close game on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be, right? If you want to keep the fans interested, it's
sure.
And all that other stuff, and I think it will be also, Steve.
All right, and with that, let's bring on the head coach of the Orange, Fran Brown, brought to you every week by Great Lakes Honda City. Coach, we missed talking to you last week. How you doing?
I'm chilling. I miss talking to y'all, too. Y'all all right?
Yeah, we're doing well. You guys are coming off the bye week. I was just talking with Paulie about this, that, from the outside looking in, it seems like the bye week came at a good time. Not just physically smack dab in the middle of the season, but, Coach, did this bye week come at a good time for your players mentally as well? A chance to kind of reset and a fresh start here going into the second half of the season?
I feel like mentally was the most important piece of it, being able to understand that mentally and being able to get with a lot of the guys who aren't playing, right? To let them know how much you need them on the football team, how much you need them to be able to embrace and enjoy their roles. So that way we can make the run that we need to make for the second half of the year. Talking to the team about finishing out 500 in life. We brung up buying a home, showed them what it was to buy a home. And when you buy a home, how you put a bunch of money down. And then when you go to sell this home at the end, if you don't get any money back and you call that, I broke even. No, you didn't break even. You put all this money down. You lived in the house all this time and then you went to sell it and you didn't get anything. Breaking even is losing. And we don't want to be even. We talked about that, not being even in life, because being even means you lost. And just being able to grow. So, I take everything, and football is a game of life. You can always learn life through ball, and it helped us a lot. And we got to spend time together. We got to understand the way we were practicing with some things that I can always do to just want to get better daily. I think everyone looked in the mirror. So we're excited about the second part.
We have Julian Wiggum, former SU defensive back, on our Orange Nation TV show on a regular basis, and I asked him how coaches generally handle the bye week, and he said it was his experience that coaches might change it up depending on how they're playing. Like if they're coming off a couple losses, they might work them a little bit harder. If they're coming off some wins, they might get an extra day off. How do you, as a coach, approach a bye week? How did you handle this latest bye week?
I didn't work them harder because we got some losses, because we worked hard. Regardless. So the losses wasn't because of lack of inability to work hard. The losses were because I got out-coached, right? They could put at more points than us. It had nothing to do with the players' effort. So we were able to just Sunday, Monday off. Tuesday, Wednesday we practice, Thursday, Friday off, and then we right back Saturday early in the morning, ready to compete, ready to practice. And then we was able to start. That's like an extra day of the week to be able to move. So I was able to get their mental right, get the bodies right. But in the same sense, we still had to live. We still had to go to class. You one day give them a couple of days of just being a normal college student, but still wanted to see you at breakfast check, see you at, later on when we need to see you. But we wanted to make sure you had completely off and just go enjoy college. The campus here is amazing. It's beautiful. The entire bye week, it was 80 degrees here and 70-something. So it was just, it was a good week for our players, mentally and physically.
All right, before we look ahead to Pittsburgh in this next opponent, I do want to revisit what happened on Monday. We carry your press conference every week live on the air. It seemed like you were a little irritated with one question in particular. Can you tell us what happened there?
It was like, I just hate when people be like, these big time schools or this big time that going to come in and they're trying to talk like how you telling me that my job isn't a big time job? Like, how about if I say, why you don't work for a big time reporting company? Or to me, I feel like that's disrespectful to myself, to my family, to my players, to our alum, to just everybody. To say, when these big times, like what is Syracuse, right? So that was, I don't know, I felt that was disrespectful, so I don't know, that just irritated me a little bit in that sense of it, if that makes sense. That would be like me telling y'all, hey, how you gonna feel when the big time radio station comes to try to get you guys to go on our big time sports talk, wants y'all to come on, would you take it? Like, you don't think that would be disrespectful, Paulie?
Yeah, it would be. I am big time, no, Coach.
You know what I'm saying?
Coach, you were saying that football is like life, and, it also seems like it's kind of like a soap opera. During the bye week, how do you keep all the outside noise out of the locker room?
Don't worry about it. I mean, it's going to happen. It happens without the bye week. So I just face everything head on. Every little piece that or something that went on, we attack it head on. We don't hide anything. When you're in a family, you got to communicate. The lack of communication and coaches not wanting to pay attention to certain things that may go on, then they don't bring it up. It becomes bigger. I bring it up so we can squash it. I let everyone know, hey, this is going on, this is that, this is going on, this is that. And we'll sit there and I'll make sure I talk to them and I communicate with them, right? I'm the head of the family right now, and the family, everyone in the family needs to know everything. There's no one in the family that isn't old enough not to know what's going on. It's not like, I got a 4-year-old daughter. There's certain things she doesn't know that my 21-year-old knows, right? Or things that the 21-year-old would know that the 12-year-old would know, because it's a different piece of where they are in life. They're all helping this family and this organization work, so they all get to know. And whenever there's an issue, whenever there's drama, whenever there could be a toxic situation, we got to approach it head on.
Coach, you were saying like everybody thinks they're an expert on sports when they're calling into our radio shows and whatnot, and it's easy to harp on the way the quarterback is playing. What what you're talking about? What are you seeing in growth wise from Ricky Collins?
Just leadership and getting the trust and the trust in others. I mean, guys got to trust you to play for you. And just being able to have that trust. They trust the culture. They trust me. But like everyone has to earn that trust. And, it took a little bit with Steve. Then Steve started to get it. Then we got hurt. As you can see, we was in a big game with him. And then now it happened with Ricky. And it's coming. It's a part of the time. He's putting the work in. He's constantly working and doing stuff. But it's a trust thing, right? It's they're kids, right? These guys are 18 to 22 years old, maybe 23. So there's a lot of things that they're thinking. Is this right? Is this going to be that? Is this this? I just tell them all, listen, just do your job. We're going to help him do his job while that coach does his job. So if everyone just does their job, it'll help Ricky out a little bit more. Don't worry about can he do his job. You just do yours, and then Rick will be fine because he's going to work really hard at his own job.
You're going up against an opponent this week that changed quarterbacks 2 games ago as well, and Mason Heinschel has been lights out, right? Over 300 yards passing back-to-back games. He's got 6 touchdown passes, 1 interception. I don't need to tell you this. What stands out to you when you watch him on film and watch that Pitt offense on film?
He's a big time. He got a good arm. He can run. He's athletic. He's a leader. It's like he's not even a freshman. So it'll be fun to watch him. I can't wait to compete and play against him.
On the other side of the ball, they're really good at stopping the run. They're really good at getting after the quarterback. That's a good combination, right? They're a top 20 in sacks on the season. I think they're 8th in the country in rushing defense from a yards given up on the ground per game. As you look at trying to attack them, what stands out to you about the defense that you're going to go up against on Saturday?
I think they do a really good job of tackling. I think Kyle Lewis and that entire defense is really good football players. So we're excited about them, but we're going in there to try to be able to we got to try and be able to run the ball. We got to be able to pass the ball. We just got to have more points than them by the end of the game, man. It's going to be a fun game. Doozy's a tough football coach, so it's a lot of stuff that we got to get done this weekend, and we're excited about being able to go up against this team coming in here, coming to the Dome to play us.
The way that last year's game went for the returning guys, does that add any motivation to the game this week for them? The fact that they remember what happened last year in Pittsburgh, or do we in the media kind of make too much of that? And it, new year, new team, and even though last year didn't go well, that doesn't factor into this game at all.
We just focus on the day at practice, and then we're gonna get ready for the next day. But we're playing Pitt, homecoming. It's a rival game, so just the fact that we playing them, it is what it is.
Coach, you talked about their defense. What are you expecting out of your defense in this game?
We're going to have fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to play football. They're going to play free. They're going to fly around, and we'll have a lot of fun.
Last one for me. It's homecoming weekend, Orange Central weekend they call it here at Syracuse. It's a night game, rival in town, conference game. It feels like a really important game to the rest of your season. First game of the second half of the year. Do you have any sort of message to the fans? About trying to get them to come out to this game to support the team and maybe provide a little bit of a springboard here going into the second half of the year.
Yeah, we need y'all at the game. It's Saturday night. You don't have anything else to do. The club isn't opening up till about 12 anyway, so we need everybody to come to the game, come and enjoy, be loud. Let's make the dome extra, right? Let's get a lot of flags on their part because the dome is extremely loud. It's packed. I want it to be sold out. Like, I'm hoping that everybody could come and help sell this out for the second half of the year. So just everybody show up to the game. Come to the game. There's a lot of seats available. And we need everybody there. Need everybody's support. Come support us. Like, come. You ain't got nothing to do. Come down to the game. And let's have some fun. John, make the tickets a little cheaper for some of them or something. I'm not sure. But let's get everybody in. I want it packed. I want to see no open seats, right? It'd be really cool if there's no open seats at this game.
And come to the game, and then you can go out afterwards, right? That's got to be the plan. 7:30 kick inside the dome. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time. Thanks so much. We'll see you over at Myers Creek later tonight.
All right, y'all be safe. Have a good night.
All right, you as well. Fran Brown joining us here on the show, brought to you every week by
too old for the clubs.
Great Lakes Honda City. Well, I don't think he was talking to us. I think he was talking to maybe the college kids, right? The young people in this community. Certainly not us. 315-437-7644.
Still in town? Like, I'm that old. Like, all the clubs that I went to are, like, either covered by trees or a Chick-fil-A.
You're asking the wrong person, Paulie. I'm sure they are. I'm sure if you want to have a good time, you can find a place to go.
I don't think one of the clubs I used to go to is, like, legitimately around.
Yeah. Well, that's probably true. It was a long time ago for both of us.
The one out in Mattydale there, the route, out by the airport is still there, but it's all covered up by trees.
Yeah.
It says coming soon on the sign still, but yeah, all the rest of them are.
Yeah, that's like a whole different world to me. I don't make it out to Mattydale all that often, so I'll take your word for that. But I don't know off the top of my head. Like I said, asking the wrong person. I'm sure people in our chat would know. 315-437-7644. We'll take our first time out here. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
Burdick Toyota, Burdick Lexus, and Burdick BMW are proud supporters of game day radio coverage of Syracuse football.
Here's a little secret for you, CJC.
I
I used to go to Trex after hours because the girls wanted to dance.
Spooktacular Stroll, CNY's not-so-scary Halloween experience for the family is back. Walk through the bewitched woods at Long Branch Park
Not
in
the
Liverpool.
Pump House. It was like
Every
it was at Club
Thursday
37,
through Sunday in October from 5 to 9 p.m. The forest comes to life on the half-mile trail with themed sections, including the Skeleton Graveyard, Pumpkin Patch, Mummy Man.
Oh, sorry, guys. I was saying I used to go to Trex because the ladies wanted to dance after hours. I don't know how to dance, but I know how to. I tried back then. Now, no, I'd hurt myself. Do people still dance at clubs? Like, I don't know if that's a thing anymore. Maybe in the bigger cities. This town ain't it, though. You want me to do the Running Man? A split.
Kid and play, jump over your leg.
Remember we tried to get Jordan to do that once, and he nearly killed himself? Do the electric slide.
Do you want to talk about Fran here on the back end, or do we want to move on to something else?
I think it was a fine. Yeah, I don't care.
Do we want to replay the response? In case people, in case you're just joining us, and then have that be our jumping off point?
That's up to our producer desk. Club Lava. I used to date a bartender from Club Lava. She was 6'9". We looked ridiculous.
If you go to Jordan's personal folder, which is ironic, maybe just play it or make sure it's set up right. You could probably start it.
Yeah.
4 seconds in. Probably
Yep. It's cut short, I think. That's it. Okay, it's okay. I'm big time. They call me Big Time, Steve. Did you know that was my nickname? While you were a rap boy, I was Big Time. Big Time Sibilia.
That was your nickname?
Mm-hmm. Paulie Big Time Sibilia.
I did not know. It's the first I'm hearing of this. Don't forget to play your song.
Man, Paulie's top 7 hip hop songs from the 1980s when I was in high school. This is number 7, Steve, my favorite rapper from that era. MC Shan, The Bridge.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got
It's a banger.
I said to you before the show, I'm glad you're going first so I can see which ones you pick, and then I can take those ones off my list.
You can share.
I know, but I want to get more songs in. So, because I laid it out last night. I've got like 12 right now, and I can only have 7. So
I was legitimately sweating while doing this.
We should have an others receiving votes category.
We're going to do this. I decide now that we were just talking about the clubs. We should do our favorite club songs, and we should do our favorite love songs. Baby making jams. Yeah, this is going to be fun. This new thing where we're just putting each other on the spot to pick our 7 favorites.
It's hard. The picking your favorite songs is hard because generally people have more than 7 that they love, right?
Yeah, underrated love song from "Love of a Lifetime" by Firehouse. Because I was thinking last night about my 7 songs that were embarrassing guilty pleasures, and there's so many. I left some out.
Yeah,
I got highly criticized by my boss about it.
About what? He didn't like your list?
Yeah, he thought it was very, very soft. Is how I would put it.
Isn't that the point, though? But
then I looked at yours, and yours was like Offspring and Jazzy Jeff. All right. Anything from Fran Brown stick out to you? You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think his response about the exchange earlier in the week, his clarification, whatever you want to put it. We've had a lot of folks call us and in our chat section at qsportstalk.com try to read into what he was saying about that question about quote-unquote bigger jobs. He clearly was irritated. He called it disrespectful in the moment, and people were speculating, like, what did he mean by that? Like, coaches around the country are being asked this kind of question. Why didn't he just answer it? Why was he upset by it? So we asked today for clarification in case you just missed it. We had Fran Brown on about 10 minutes ago, and this was his response.
Nah, it was like, I just hate when people be like, these big time schools or this big time that gonna come in and they're trying to talk like how you telling me that my job isn't a big time job? Like, how about if I say, why you don't work for a big time reporting company? Or, like, to me, I feel like that's disrespectful to myself, to my family, to my players, to our alum, to just everybody, like, to say, like, one of these big times, like what is Syracuse, right? That was, I don't know, I felt that was disrespectful, so.
So there you go. And then he went on from there. But in case you missed it, that's the gist of how he handled the question. So hopefully, Paulie, that provides everybody some clarity as to why he responded the way he did on Monday. People were reading into it like, oh, he's gone, and he didn't say he loves it here. And, I think he clarified there that he took it as a shot at the Syracuse.
At him, yeah.
At, the job, him, and he didn't like it. And so that's how he responded.
Yeah, so it was, people in our chat, it wasn't a disrespectful question. It was the calling it.
He didn't like the way it was worded. He thought the wording of it, right, the wording of it was disrespectful is what he's saying. And honestly, in the moment, I kind of thought that. I was like, I wonder if that's why he didn't like the question. And, we let him respond today, and he said, yeah, that was why.
Yeah, like nobody went to Matt Rule and said, are you going to take a big-time job at Nebraska?
Right.
Leaving Nebraska. So I get it. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Right. So anyway, there you go. Hopefully that's over and done with now. But
it's not.
Well, I'm sure he's going to be asked again at some point about something related to that, right? About another job, or would you have interest, or what are your plans here? What's your future? I mean, that's something that generally would pop up after the season. He's going to have to answer those questions, I'm sure, throughout the course of his career, especially if he's successful. If you're getting those questions, it's a good thing, right? It means that you're sought after. It means that people want you. It means that people are worried they're going to lose you. So as long as he keeps doing a good job, which I expect him to do, he's going to have to, answer those questions for many more years.
Are you worried you're going to lose me, Steve, like every one of your other co-hosts that quit because they couldn't tolerate your tyrannical rule over this show?
No, you seem different. You do, in a lot of different ways. Take that however you will, but you definitely seem different. So, no, I'm not worried about it. Okay. But there was a streak there that it was basically like 2 years or so was the max.
Working with you is like working with Ellen. People, I don't mean to let let our secrets out.
I mean, what is this, year 5 for us? We're already like twice as far along as I made it with any other host.
If people knew how many times I go home and cry myself to sleep after working with you. The other thing that stuck out to me, Steve, was that circling things in your mind isn't really a thing. It's just
he didn't say it either way. As a player, as an athlete, like I was curious kind of what he would say to that. I didn't expect him to side with me on it. I'm just telling you, like as an athlete, as a competitor, I have to think that when you get a crack at somebody who embarrassed you the previous year or the previous time you played them, I think you get a little extra amped up for that kind of game. That just personally speaking, I would say that.
Well, can't take no for an answer, Stephen Fine. No, it's not. Well, he answered it. The wording. You got to look into the wording. All right, let's take it.
So am I the only one that circles things in my mind? Apparently.
You just got vendettas built up everywhere. Let's take a time out, and when we come back, we'll maybe talk a little hoops or more football.
We'll decide during the break.
Fran Brown screws up our clock management badly when he comes on early.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Owen Johannes says Miami has Syracuse circled in their mind.
Yeah, for real. Like, so do we not think that that's a thing?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I don't think Miami
a team that kept you from going to the college football playoff the previous year?
Quarterback's gone. Yeah, no.
No, I'm not saying that.
This is something Coach
I'm not saying that that they're thinking about that right now, whoever's not there. I'm saying the returning players.
Yeah. This is something that Coach Autry was stressing yesterday a lot. Different year, different team.
Yeah.
And I think that's a mentality you got to have. You can't take the highs or the lows from last year and bring it to this year. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that, but I also think that if you are a player, like I understand the coach has to approach it like that, but if you're a player and like let's say this is your senior year and last year as a junior, you were 1 win away from going to the ACC title game and going to the college football playoff, and you came to the Dome and you lost. And now you're going to see that Syracuse team again, and you're in the same position. You're in position to go to the ACC title game. You're in position to go to the college football playoff. To me, it's one of those, I would circle that in my mind, right? I would be a little bit extra amped up to see Syracuse on my home field, and I've got a little payback I got to deliver you because of what you did last year. So I
might
can't
make
be
you a
the
little
only
too
one.
amped up when you go out on the field. Yeah, I don't like it.
Okay.
Erase it.
We're human beings, though. We remember that kind of stuff.
I'm not.
I'm not, apparently. I'm a robot, right?
Yes.
Every time I get, by the way, just real quick, every time I get that message now of click this so I know that you're not a robot, I think of you.
Yeah, you lie daily. You lie daily to that stupid little box you have to check.
We're back after this on ESPN Radio. So, like, if Kyle McCord were on this team, don't you think that he would be a little extra focused going into the Pittsburgh game after he was embarrassed last year?
Maybe. Some comments I got on my music from yesterday. That Leo Sayre song slaps. That's I had number 4 on repeat forever, which was Stevie B. But the funny thing was, back then, repeat meant pressing rewind and play over and over again. Do you remember when the technology came out where you could rewind a tape and it would know when the song ended and stop?
Yeah.
In high-speed dubbing?
Yeah.
Oh, such cutting-edge technology. You probably never high-speed dubbed because that was stealing. Like if someone gave you a tape, you'd probably never taped it because that was like slow-motion Napster, right?
I mean, I definitely made my own tape.
That is, you should go turn yourself in. I once dubbed a tape without permission from the artist. Steve once turned himself in for rebroadcasting, retransmitting a game without the express written consent. Those Memorex color tapes were dope. Yeah, put your paper. Oh, yeah, Napster is nuts. Get all your adult movies and music in one place. It was like Walmart. It was like a superstore for degenerates. Cassette tapes are back. I have a cassette player. And the only thing I've ever listened to it was like my old air checks, but they crack me up. I still have a mini. When I first started in engineering the game broadcast, we used to have to record the highlights on a mini disc, and then I would have to play them back live from the game site. It was so hard. I screwed that up so much. Yeah, vinyl is outrageously priced, but I still have my old vinyl. I have 3 record players in my house. I think I have more record players than TVs. You remember when the DJ would talk? I remember holding a cassette player up to the speaker of my TV so I could get the Dukes of Hazzard theme song. But old vinyl is worth money, but I listen to horrible. No, I was more of a Chasey Lane fan. Is this number 6?
It is number 6.
It is number 6, right? The show, Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh crew. This was one of the first songs I learned word for word from beginning to the end. Yes. Have you ever been?
It's a really good song.
With
Two good choices so far.
Would this have been on your list?
This was under consideration. Dougie Fresh was under consideration.
You still got Lottie Dottie.
Yeah.
He's got multiple hits.
Yeah.
Cut That Zero.
It's tough to cut it down to 7, man. It really is.
Cut That Zero by Dougie Fresh was a very underrated song.
All right, we talked basketball.
You need to cut that chicken McNugget and get with his value pack. Remember McDonald's had value packs?
Yeah.
Where am I opening?
We're opening basketball. We've been talking football.
Please.
We'll get back to football. We've got the match game coming up in the second hour. We've got the voice of the Orange, Matt Park, in the second hour. Let's talk some basketball, though. Yesterday was SU Men's Basketball Media Day over at the Mello Center. Adrian Autry took questions for about 25 minutes, and then we had a chance to talk with the players as well, as we all kind of get to know this new group, right? It's 2 guys returning, in Donnie and JJ. Everybody else is new, either freshmen or transfers. Let's hear from Adrian Autry if you've got the sound. You're still working on finding it. Okay.
Yeah. Do you know that the
Spooktacular
Stroll is coming?
Yes.
It's tonight.
Here.
It's Dog-a-ween today.
Yeah,
you can bring your dog out there. Treats on the trail coming up. It's a lot of fun. $25 a carload. SpooktacularStroll.com. Long Branch Park. Go tonight. Enjoy it. All right. We're ready.
Excellent. All right. So with that,
Want some scouting reports here?
Let's hear from Adrian Autry. Before we get into the comments that we've got pulled, he was asked, obviously, multiple times in multiple different ways about the NCAA tournament and the expectations. And I thought he handled the questions well. You know, he basically said, somebody said, do you have more urgency going into this year? Do you change the way you coach at all, knowing that John Wildhack has said that you have to be playing meaningful games in March and that is the expectation? And he said, that's my expectation as well. I have no problem with that. Like, no, I don't. There's not more urgency. No, I don't change the way I coach. Our hope and our plan and our mission all along has been to get to the NCAA tournament. It hasn't happened yet, but it looks like they've got the team that can do it this year.
Changing the way you coach is a weird thing to ask.
Yeah.
It's like if he could do that and it would get you to the tournament, don't you think he would have done it last year?
Yeah, right, exactly. I think that was kind of his point in his answer was like, no, this is this isn't like some goal that came out of nowhere and like, oh, that's the goal. Like he knows that's the goal. It's been the goal. It's been, they've been working towards that. It hasn't worked yet. He knows how important this year is, and I thought he seemed calm and collected yesterday during the press conference, and I thought he said all the right things and. But again, he's not going to change anybody's mind until they start playing games. So
a lot of people said he sounded like he was more vocal and confident sounding.
Yeah, I mean,
it might just be that he's got better talent, too.
Well, that, or, either.
Year 3.
Yeah, maybe he's settled into his role, but the other thing is maybe people are just reading into it, right? I mean, I thought he handled the press conference very well yesterday, and he said all the right things, but again, nobody cares about what's being said. They want to see what's done on the court. And to your point, I think they've got the horses this year to produce a really, really good season. And, he's not going to change anybody's mind until November. So, but for it, I thought for what it was, he handled it well. Let's hear about some individual players now. Let's start with Melo's son, Cayenne, and here is Adrian Autry on what he brings to the table.
He's talented. He's a very good freshman. I mean, he's a very good basketball player, talented offensively. So, again, expect him to come in and contribute, on both sides of the floor. He's a guy that can, score the ball on all 3 levels for sure, and continue to progress like most freshmen on the defensive end and help us.
There was one thing that stuck out to me yesterday from the players, talking with Cayenne, talking with Sadiq. They both discussed the fact that they don't feel like there's a lot of pressure on them. And I think some of it is, sometimes teams will rely on freshmen the way it used to be, right? Not that long ago. Teams would rely on freshmen to come in and be the savior. Now, with the transfer portal, you don't have to do that. The freshmen can come in and they can be pieces, but they don't have to be the main pieces. And I think in the case of Sadiq and Cayenne in particular, they're both highly touted recruits, but they don't have to come here and be 20-point-a-game scorers, right? Yeah. They don't have to come here and be the savior. They can come off the bench and, they have a role. They know they're going to have a role, but the pressure isn't on them to be the guy right away. And I think that's a good thing.
Did you take when he said come in as he's coming off the bench or come in as a freshman?
I took that as come in as a freshman.
Okay, I took it as come in.
Off the bench?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I mean, either or. I think he is going to come off the bench. I think Sadiq's probably coming off the bench too. But I don't think that's a bad thing. And if they, play really well, they'll get more minutes. I mean, he's going to play the guys who are playing, give them the best chance to win. But they don't have to come in and be a star right away. And I think that's helpful for both of them. Here's Coach Red on Sadiq White.
He has a mentality that you need to be, one of the best, better defenders in college basketball, to be honest with you. 6'8", he's long, he can move his feet, but he has a toughness about him. So, again, we're excited for what he brings on that end of the floor, but he's not just a defender. He's a very good offensive player. He can pass it, he can share it, he sees things. But, his tenacity is what really gets us, gets us excited about what he can bring. And he has the right mindset to impact, especially on that side of the basketball.
He's been preaching defense for the last 3 years, and obviously he changed the way this team plays defense, right? He moved away from the zone. He went to man-to-man. They want to get up and down, play at a faster pace. And it feels like this team and this roster that they've put together will allow him to do what he's been talking about for the last 3 years, which is, again, more possessions, play quicker, get after you defensively. It seems like this team has the depth, the athleticism, the talent to execute what we've been hearing about for a few years
Let me
now.
ask you this. What's more important for a starter to do? Play defense or hit threes? I tend to think he might be starting now that I think about it.
Maybe. Because listen.
Set the tone defensively and your three-point shooters come. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, Steve, but who knows?
I think generally you would go with an older starting lineup.
I tend to think that too.
But again, I mean, he's the coach and he sees them every day at practice. And my expectation is that the 2 star freshmen are coming off the bench. But again, we're not at practice every day, so maybe he's been outperforming everyone and he will start. And we don't know, and that's part of the excitement leading into this exhibition game in Buffalo. Is not only do we get to see these guys play for the first time together, but we get to see what the starting lineup looks like, some of the combinations that they may use this year, and I think folks are really excited about that.
Personal question: you going to that game?
It's funny you should say that. We were literally talking about it yesterday. We're figuring out our plan right now. I'm leaning toward yes.
All right.
I think I will be there. You're obviously going to be there,
If you'd
right?
like to go with Tim, Coach Saddlein, and I, you're more than welcome to jump in.
I appreciate that. More to come on that. I think I will be there.
All right.
I think I will be there.
Big bro trip rolling up to Buffalo.
I love it. Let's let's hit on one other comment from Coach Autry before we take our next break. Here's Red on Nate George.
He was a guy that going in to the offseason, you didn't expect him to be available in the portal, but, you never know. When you get a chance to get a guy like that, obviously led the league in assists and was a double-digit scorer, and then, we had a chance to compete against him from his freshman year to sophomore year, and just to see him steadily get better on both ends of the floor. He was a guy that we really wanted to get, and we went all in on him. And it was some battles, but we went all in on him. But a guy that can lead your team, that can score, that can get people in place. He plays the position. You don't have to teach him the position. And a guy that's proven. He was proven at this level. So it was a no-brainer for us.
And this is not meant to be a shot at Jaquan Carlos, but this is a massive upgrade at the point guard position. And I'm not sure fans can truly appreciate, again, until we see it, how much of a difference it is with Nate George running the show opposed to Jaquan Carlos. And again, not his fault, but it, just the circumstances put him in this position where he came here and he was the starting point guard. But this is a massive upgrade at that position. And, you've got a healthy JJ back, a healthy Donnie back, and you add all the other transfers into the mix. I think right off the bat with Nate George, like when they signed him, it felt like, okay, this offseason is already, they've taken a big step forward in this offseason because of him.
Yeah, and we had a guest on yesterday that said he was one of the most highly sought transfer portal players, and Cuse landed him.
Yeah. Yeah, and we remember that Carolina really wanted him, and SU got him. And I think that's another indication that, Adrian Autry was working with more resources this year financially than he had been the previous 2 years to be able to go out and land him and land some of the other guys that they did in the portal. All right, with that, we'll hit our final timeout in the first hour. We'll check in on the market, and then we'll get you set for hour number 2. We've got Matt Park coming up in hour number 2. We've got the match game coming up in hour number 2. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
So when I throw steel.
What? Real quick. I did not mention Burdick BMW of Cicero because the opening drive was the Great Lakes Honda City one.
Yeah. So do it now.
So
do the closing.
Okay. So we'll give it 2 mentions. We'll do the end of the first hour, beginning of the second hour.
When I throw, so what I do is I do a full body workout. Then the next day I walk 5 miles, and then I lift and 5 miles, lift 5 miles. No yoga, Pilates, nothing like that. Some days I work out, and I also do a nice little walk.
How long does it take you to walk 5 miles? I'm curious.
Just at the parkway, but I don't know, because my dog is with me, and she smells everything.
So probably an hour and a half?
Yeah. Hour and a half, 2 hours.
I was just curious because I went for a walk the other night to just clear my head, and I walked for an hour, and I was wondering how long or how far that would be. But I didn't have a dog with me. I was just steady walking for an hour.
Yeah, my dog has to smell everything. Yeah. It takes forever. I've lost a ton of weight, Kevin from Liverpool, you jackass. I look at pictures of myself. My face was so round. Did you clear your head? I don't know.
I did. I said I took a walk to clear my head. Yeah, I did. It took an hour, but I did clear my head. Yeah, Matt, I walk fast. I'm a fast walker, so I think it was probably closer to Armosaurus than...
Steve just mall walking down the street. His neighbor's like, oh, Steve's out clearing his head again. What the hell are you clearing in your head from?
It was late at night. I don't think anybody was watching me.
People think you're prowling the neighborhood? Correct. 5 miles is nothing for a Jack Russell.
That's right.
Sometimes I have to yell at her and be like, let's go. She like fake pees on everything.
Really?
Yeah.
She's marking her territory?
Yeah, like all of Onondaga Lake Park, she's peed on every blade of grass. Yeah, it's wild how dogs just need to smell every tree. Did you stretch first, Steve?
I did not. And I did not cramp up, Big Papi.
It does not look like I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to Notre Dame. I am going to volunteer tonight. Like, I could do the second game in Vegas. I could just go right from Notre Dame to Vegas, but I would miss that first game against
Right. Big Papi, I actually did sleep better. I don't know if it was related. I guess it probably was.
Yeah, but he couldn't get the idea of me throwing steel out of his head in a Speedo.
Matt, that's funny. That's funny, L.A. Orange. No big city job calling right now, no.
Production. Will always
Number 5 on the Paulie's favorite rap songs from the late 80s. Criminal Minded, Steve.
Remember.
Can I let it cook for a split second? If
you can, yeah.
Because then you'll begin to master rhyming. Criminal Minded.
Banger. This whole album's a banger.
It is, yeah. You could have picked like 4 different songs. From
Poetry.
All right. Shall we get to our check-in on the market?
Are you shocked that this beat out my philosophy? Is my
a little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I like Criminal Minded better.
If I go Boogie Down Productions, it's going to be my philosophy on my list. Mike from Lee Baldwin and Company joining us now as we check in on the market. Mike, how are things today?
Not bad, guys. The market's all opened higher across the board, but actually drifted lower as the morning went on. We're now flat to down a little bit on all 3 major averages. The Diamond, though, is a nice local company, somewhat new local company, Micron, up $10 to over $201 a share. Got another upgrade today from Wall Street, and that's been a common theme the last couple of weeks. The stock's been upgraded a lot. We've seen the price targets from the analysts go up and up and up. So good news for Micron. And our dog, we're going to go with Travelers. The insurance companies are weak today. They reported a little bit soft earnings. The outlook wasn't spectacular, and the stock's down about $8.50 or 3%. To 261. So let's hope we can get a little bit gain in the market this afternoon. Overall, down a little bit, but not too bad.
All right, Mike. Sounds good. Appreciate you checking in.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Lee Baldwin and Company. All of the diamonds, none of the dogs. Visit LeeBaldwin.com.
Gonna have to pack up quick after the coaches show tonight, Steve.
Yeah?
Yeah, Steelers.
Oh, that's right.
Steelers Bengals tonight. Old quarterback bowl, the icy hot bowl, they're calling it.
Are they're
Rodgers
both,
versus Flacco?
What are they, 41? How old is Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know. They're both too old to be playing football still.
Yeah, he's 41. And is that what Flacco is?
I don't know.
He's 40. Turns 41 in January. Are you worried about this game at all? No.
I think my Steelers are okay.
Yeah. I think they are too. I think they're certainly better than the Bengals. Because even though they've got a new quarterback, their offensive line's been pretty bad, so they're going to have to give Flacco some time to throw. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. So weird things happen on Thursday nights. I will caution you.
At the Spooktacular Show. It's Dogweed. That was my
it was pretty good.
Dracula impersonation.
Yeah, not bad.
You know what this is also, Steve?
What's that?
It's our closing drive.
Oh, yes, it is. It's brought to you by Burdick BMW of Cicero, and we're going to drive into the second hour here momentarily.
Nice. I am not worried about tonight. I think Aaron Rodgers just doesn't turn the ball over, and he just keeps you in games, and that's all you need on a Mike Tomlin team.
Yeah, and the Bengals have a lot of issues. They've certainly got playmakers, though, so if Flacco can get a little bit of time to throw and get the ball to, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and, they can move the ball down the field. I don't know. Thursday nights, a lot of times, weird things happen on Thursdays because you don't have as much time to prepare, but I tend to think that your Steelers are going to be fine.
I don't know if you saw, did you see the Steelers-Browns game this past week? It was
no.
On TV? Because the Bills had already played, or were playing Monday night. Chris Boswell went to kick a ball and slipped, nearly killed himself on the grass. And the Steelers players and Big Ben came out on his podcast and said, it's time for Pitt to go play somewhere else.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's weird that the Steelers are natural turf. Like, I just go, if you go turf, you don't have to do this stuff. But, yeah, Big Ben was like, they need to just build a 35,000-seat stadium up in Oakland, let the kids actually walk to the games and not drive to it. And,
35,000? That's all they want?
I mean, they're in an 80,000 seat stadium now, and on a good night they sell half. You know,
all right.
So you build something the size of the dome.
That would not be enough for Buffalo, just so you know. They need it twice as much.
Okay, that's great. We've got how many more Super Bowls in Pittsburgh?
No, I know. I'm just saying.
That's great. You count seats, I'll count Super Bowl rings.
All right, that's a good comeback. That was a good comeback.
Oh, we got a lot of seats. Good. Go win a playoff game.
Well, not just seats, seats that are full. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, the Steelers seats are full too, and so is their trophy case. Jackass. Don't come at me.
Let's take a timeout. We'll get to hour number 2 next. We've got Match Game again coming up at 1 o'clock. We've got Today's Business. We got Matt Park. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
Man, that was fast. Oh, I knew that was coming. Okay, I want to hit on something that Carlos Del Rio Wilson story. That's why, like coaches get mad at local media. Like, to post another story from a West Virginia paper just to poke the bear. Like, that story doesn't need to be in the paper or on Syracuse.com. And everybody says that Jim Boeheim was mad at Brent Axe, and that's why I think the football coaches were way worse about Brent Axe than Boeheim ever was. I saw that the other day that Jim Boeheim got Brent Axe fired on someone retweeted one of my tweets. It was like, oh, look at you guys. You got Brent Axe fired. Jim Boeheim, blah, blah, blah. The coach, if I were to believe a football coach or a coach got him fired, it would have been a football coach more than a.
So, Phil, I'm not coming at you at all. Just serious question, though. Do people wish that Carlos Del Rio Wilson were still here?
No. Yeah.
Like, honestly. So, I mean, you go back to that game. It was BC, right? BC that he started. Season on the line.
4 interceptions.
4 interceptions. 7 for 17 passing for 37 yards. Now, I realize it was one game. I get it. And I get it that he's older and better now. But do we really think that he would be having success at Syracuse?
No.
Would he even be the backup at Syracuse?
He's at Marshall.
Probably not. Right. All right. So Phil says he's just happy for him. So I can respect that. That's fine. Yeah, I want people to succeed too wherever they go. So that's cool. I caution the people that say like, oh, if only he were still here. I don't think he would have been.
Well, that's why they ran the story, was so people will say that.
Right. Exactly. Right.
It's clickbait. It wasn't just Dino. Like, you could go back to Coach. Like, I love Brent, but you could go all the way back to Coach P and get. He was the football coaches were less of a fan of him than the basketball coach was. The maddest I ever saw Boeheim get at Axe was about the way he talked about a football coach.
I think Tim's coming in here for these next two segments.
Can't wait.
Match game and then today's business.
Yes, we will have Boeheim on. We'll also have Red on. I don't know.
We have a sponsor for Match Game. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't care who's first or who last, but I know that y'all just better rock this at the drop of a dime, baby. I don't know what.
Hour number 2 with an absolute banger, Steve.
I love this song.
The Symphony by the Juice Crew All-Stars and Molly Mall, Steve.
See, you say all the time that we wouldn't have hung out together as kids, but like...
We would have borrowed each other's.
We definitely would have.
We definitely would have hung out.
Definitely.
This is a banger, and it was just number 5. No, 4.
This would be 4. Yeah.
All right. I wish I could just play this.
I know, me too. All right, we've got Tim in here. It's as we drive into our second hour. It's brought to you by Burdick BMW Cicero, and we kick things off with everybody's favorite game show. That is
Sweeping the Nation.
Sweeping the Nation. That is the match game.
And another banger. Nope. Damn it. I got to learn to turn on your mic. I used to do that to Jordan all the time, and he took it personal.
This is a banger. All right, let's get into the match game. Update on the standings. Paulie is still leading the way. 21 matches on the year for Paulie. 4 more last week for him. Steve won last week with 5 matches in the SMU game. I guess it was 2 weeks ago. Steve's got 15 on the year. I've got 14. So 21 for Paulie, 15 for Steve, 14 for me. First question. What will be the result of Syracuse's first offensive drive of the game? You could say punt. You could say safety if you really want to get crazy. You could say turnover. You could say touchdown, field goal.
Tim, did you know that the safety is the most exciting play in football?
I didn't say most exciting. It's just exciting. I like a good safety.
This is one of the rare ones I got last week. I said turnover, which is... Go ahead.
There was a hold in the end zone in an NFL game this past week. You must have watched the replay of that about 15 times. I will say punt.
Can I say offensive score?
No, you got to say touchdown or field goal. I'm going to say punt as well.
I feel like I should get credit if they get some points. I'm going to say field goal.
Okay.
It's a double match.
That's it. Yeah, we both punted on that question.
Yes.
Ricky Collins passing yards against Pittsburgh. What's in a round number that comes to mind? Paulie won this one last week. He said 280.
I was going to go about 240 this game.
I was thinking 250.
I was thinking more. I'm going to say 260. I'll get the benefit of answering last there. I think if they're down, he could start chucking it again. So you said 250, Steve. Paulie 240.
Well, now I'm like right in the middle. I have a very specific window that I have to hit now in order to be right about this.
Oh, that's sometimes
It's like tic-tac-toe.
Maybe we should have like you answer first, then I don't know. That'd be hard to follow though.
Yeah, who cares?
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna win on that one, but okay.
This mental gymnastics for the match game.
Yasin Willis rushing yards. I'll go first here. I'm going to say 55.
I'm going to say 74.
Wow.
$1.
You should have gotten in there second. Now you're in the middle again.
No, I know, right? So you said, I would say 56 if this were the Price is Right. Honestly, before you answered, I had 60 in my head, so I'm gonna go 60.
He's an honest man. Who will lead the team in tackles? We really haven't focused on this much this year. Gary Bryant is currently leading the team. Got to think linebacker. I guess I'll take the cheap answer and just go Gary Bryant.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Antoine Delorier, I guess, would be in the conversation there as well, but I think Gary Bryant is the safest bet. First touchdown scorer for Syracuse in this game against Pittsburgh.
I'm going to stick with what I did last game. Go Ricky Collins, sneaky doodle doo. It was so close.
Oh, it almost happened,
It was so close last time, so he got stuffed though.
Sneaky doodle doo.
I'll go Yasin Willis.
I feel like, Steve, you've had Dan Villari a couple times, so I'm going to take yours.
Okay.
And then you'll be very upset that it happens this one game. All right. How many points will Syracuse score in the first half of this game? I'll say 10.
I'll go 13.
3.
So on the first drive, then they'll get that field goal and then be shut out. Yes.
Well, now that you said that, Paulie, if they score 3 points in the first half, do you think it's Luke Carney time? Do you think that's coming?
No, I think the game will still be close. I don't think the defense is going
to
be a problem.
Well, that leads us into the next one. Will Luke Carney take a snap in this game?
No.
Not even helmet pops
Unless
off for
an
Ricky
injury.
Collins. No, that is included.
Injuries and helmet pop off?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No, I think it opens a whole nother can of worms.
You take the timeout if his helmet pops off, right?
We'll have to see the circumstances with that. That's
He
a very
already did that
specific thing.
once this year where he popped in for a play.
No, I don't think he's taking a snap.
Yeah. I guess the conversation, though, would be if there is actually any truth to they want to protect his red shirt and the scholarship.
Well, they got 4 games.
Yeah, but he's already been in for 1. Do you want to burn a second game for a second snap if the helmet pops off? Maybe that's one play. Maybe it's Jakari Williams. Is there anything to that?
I don't
versus Carney? It already happened once. So, all right. Moving on. Dan Villari, how many Wildcat snaps will he take in this game? Remember,
hopefully none. 1.
I'll say 1 too, so we can hear my voice again. I remember this was the game where he went up. That's really the only time they've beaten Pittsburgh recently is when they ran the Wildcat
that's
offense.
wild to me that when you look back at this series that was the game that they won, right?
Right. And that was probably odds going into that game most bleak as we felt. I mean, we had no shot, everyone thought, going into that game until they changed the offense. All right, Jonte Cook, receiving yards in this game.
Paul, you want to chime in on this?
Yeah, why are you looking at us, Paulie?
Everybody else has chimed in on it. 85.
I'll say 80. That was the number that popped in my mind.
Oh, man. I was going way below that. I mean, I had 50 in my head, but yeah, I guess, I don't know. I guess I'll go 50.
50. All right. What will be the...
It better be more than 85, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We got to get to Sundays.
Sorry.
We could also do, a relative call into post game. That could be a match game one.
I'm going to go no this week.
Yeah. I think we've gotten our quota of that for the year, maybe. longest run of the game for Syracuse. I bring this up because I feel like they've got to find a way to hit some more explosive run plays, and it's going to be tough to do it this week considering Pitt's rushing defense. But I will say longest run, 21 yards.
I'm going to say 13.
Yeah.
By Ricky Collins.
I'll go 17.
Okay.
2 more questions
Card
as we
Sharks.
get into Card Sharks. How many turnovers gained for the Syracuse defense this week? Another thing that they really need to improve on.
1.
I'll say 1 as well.
I'm going to go 2. I think with the freshman quarterback, hopefully they can. He hasn't been rattled yet, but hopefully they can find a way to rattle him a little bit.
He did have 2 interceptions last week.
Yeah.
So, all right, final question. We all hit this last week. We all thought Syracuse would cover the 17.5 2 weeks ago, I guess, against SMU. It is 10.5 right now. I'm seeing as the spread. Will Syracuse cover?
Yes.
Yes.
I agree.
And don't be surprised if they win the game.
Wow.
Whoa.
I'm not picking it, but I think this is going to be close.
Yeah, you're
I think
confident.
it's going to be a one-possession game.
Yeah, I've sensed that confidence out of you all week, Steve. I'm with you a little bit. I think there is something to be said for the urgency off a bye week.
I will say it again. I don't know if they're going to win this game, but I think you're going to see SU's best shot. I really do. I think they're going to be prepared. I think there is a back against the wall mentality here.
Circled in their mind scenario.
All of that. Yes, all of that.
So much going in their favor.
Pitt's pretty good, but again, I think that if they know the deal, if they're going to make a bowl game, they need to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Paulie's dismissing me, but
no, I'm not.
I guess you can make a case.
I like your confidence.
Could it be like a kitchen sink game from Jeff Nixon? You had the bye week.
Flea
You've been
flickers.
struggling. Trick plays, whatever. Wildcat.
Syracuse special instead of the Philly special.
We'll see.
Dan Villari throwing a heater down the middle to the other tight end, that tight end to tight end. That'd be wild.
Pull out all the stops in this one. You got to.
Yeah.
You got to. All right. That is everybody's favorite match game. We're going to take a timeout. We're going to have Tim stay here. We'll get to today's business on the other side, and then the voice of the Orange, Matt Park, coming up at 1:30. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
I want to know, I'm sure coaches have been asked, but I just saw Tush Push in the chat. Why don't more teams do it? Has that been answered, really? I mean, I know that the Eagles have Hurts and Kelsey was
I think it's the size of
great.
your quarterback is the problem. Because you
push you get up front.
Yeah, you end up hurting a guy by if the Steelers did it, they could crack Aaron Rodgers in half.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think you need a certain quarterback.
Good point. Maybe they don't have a push.
That's true.
Maxie Parker coming through with a hot take. Lack of tush.
Yeah, I wonder what Fran or a football coach would say to that. Need butt implants, yeah.
If you don't do it right, things can go wrong. You look at that Auburn game, Auburn-Georgia game. The game flipped.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy. McDonough was so appalled by I think he did get the football over the plane.
Up doing the tush push.
No.
Yeah.
Explain that one to the doctor. Get a thermos.
I don't think he's really been asked about that, San Diego Cuse, but we've talked about it. I mean, it's not ideal. He was definitely a solid part of the defensive game planning. It's clearly doing a pretty good job at UCLA, too. I don't know who Don Brown is, so not sure. You throw Kyler over the pile. I always think of the Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush one. That was like the original when he was on the 1 yard line trying to push him in from behind for USC.
No, but if we do top 7 game show or TV show themes, Card Sharks might be. That would be another one.
We can do that,
Your
like
top
TV
7
intros
your
too.
top 7 theme songs. Yeah, this is a fun thing we've created.
It'll never end.
So much extra work. So much stress. So much homework.
Yeah, this one stressed me out big time. Like I'm like, oh, I don't have Big Daddy Kane. I can't live with myself. What if he's listening? Number 3, Steve. Rock the Bell. There were so many LL songs to choose from. It came down to this, and I'm bad. I went with Rock the Bells, the OG of the two.
Can't argue with this. Very good list so far.
Thank you. I was up all night debating.
You didn't text me for my opinion like I did with you the night before.
Because, Steve, let me explain what we're doing. My favorite song.
You get yours.
Yes. Your opinion has nothing to do with my favorite songs.
I might need your opinion on my list.
No, I don't want to help. I did my own. I was up all night thinking.
All right, Tim is still here. We've got today's business. Tim, what do you got for us?
Yes, always brought to you by Superior Plus Propane. I've thought about this a little bit. I want to throw this at you guys. The idea that maybe we keep talking about, it's really tough to predict now in the transfer portal era. But then I thought about it some more. And the teams that are struggling this year in college football, Penn State and Clemson, are the two biggest ones, I'd say. And the reason why we thought they were good is not because they brought in new transfers. It's because they brought everyone back. And when we were talking about the All-ACC poll and things like that earlier in the week and how tough it is to do those assignments, I think all the media members were trained 10 years ago that when you start doing the ACC predicted order of finish, you start by who is returning, right? And then you go off of that. And maybe there's something to be said that we can't really grasp who are the good transfers, or it's tougher to predict, but we're inherently like overvaluing the teams that return a lot because that's just how our brains were wired 10 years ago. And now that doesn't matter as much. I mean, I just think it's fascinating. Like, yes, the transfer portal era has made it tough to predict, but Clemson and Penn State being bad isn't necessarily because of transfers. They just returned a lot from last year and regressed, it seems like.
Yeah, and I would say that with Penn State, like, nobody could see that coming, right? Because they returned their quarterback just like Clemson did. But, I mean, Penn State was a team that I think was, you looked at as a national title contender last year, and then they brought so much back, and they had so many players, multiple players put the NFL on hold and say, no, he's coming back. I'm going to come back too. We're going to run it back. We're going to try to win a title. And you look at who they lost to. Outside of this Northwestern game, it was, who am I forgetting? They lost to
UCLA.
Oregon. Oh, yeah. Right. It was UCLA. Okay. So I was going to say that they lost to good teams. UCLA was not good at the time. They've been playing better football of late. But it doesn't make a whole lot of sense other than maybe you lose one game and then things snowball, right?
I think that's what happened.
That kind of seems like what did happen. So I wouldn't say that Penn State's not good. I think that they lost and it took the wind out of their sails, like we've seen, with Syracuse losing Steve Angeli, and then it took the wind out of their sails the next 2 weeks. I think we saw that with Penn State. Clemson, same thing. Like they were among the best in the ACC last year, Miami and SMU included, but they returned Cade Klubnik and they returned a lot. And, it would stand to reason that in the ACC, they're going to be, either the best or the second best in the conference. So, weird things happen in college football. And I think we've seen that. And then when you lose one game, sometimes those things can snowball. And
wasn't the year before Florida State transferred in a bunch of really good transfers,
right.
and they
went 2-10.
Yeah.
So it can happen both ways. But I understand your point, Tim, and I think it's a valid point that maybe we overvalue how many guys are coming back. But I think in the case of Penn State and Clemson, it made too much sense. Of course they're going to be good, and then they each stumbled, and then things kind of fell apart after that.
Yeah, and I think, Paul, you're right that sometimes when you bring in high-priced transfers, it just doesn't work out, and that's a gamble every time. I have seen, too, a lot of people are making the point that the top 7 transfer portal classes this year, I think it's on 24/7 Sports, like all of those teams are doing well, and Texas Tech is an example of a team that just overhauled their roster. They had tons of money, and they're now considered maybe a college football playoff team at this point. So for every example of it being successful, there are examples of it not working. I guess my overall point is I think the Clemson and Penn State happen every year in college football, where there are some teams that look good on paper, they're returning a lot, and you just throw your hands up and say, why didn't it work? And sometimes that's going to happen. So maybe we're overreacting a little to like, wow, it's so hard to project right now in the transfer portal era. Those two teams, it wasn't because they brought in transfers or lost a lot. It was just kind of a weird year for both of them.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that part of it is good for college sports because when all this with the NIL and transfer portal first came out, my concern was that it was going to be the same handful of teams that were good every year. Now, with if you're willing to commit the resources, it sounds like you can, Texas Tech's a good example. You can get good pretty quickly. But I think we haven't seen just the truly like 2 or 3 dominant programs like, well, there's no way you're going to beat, Ohio State, or there's no way you're going to beat Oregon, or there's no, there has been some parity in college football. So hopefully we can continue to see that. And I do think with the expanded playoff, it opens the door to more programs. Like last year, again, if Syracuse takes care of Stanford and BC, they're in the mix for the college football playoff. So it is possible for a program like a Syracuse, to crack the code and get into the college football playoff. So I think it's been good from that respect.
I know you don't like him, but John Calipari's been pretty vocal lately about the transfer portal. And have you heard him? He thinks you should only get one. The kid should get one transfer. That's it. And then
we agree on something.
Yeah.
I think that would be good for college sports. Yes.
All right.
I agree with that. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
I do too. Yeah, the top 7 transfer portal classes, according to 24/7 Sports: LSU number 1, Texas Tech 2, Miami 3, Ole Miss 4, Oregon 5, Florida State at 6 is really the first one that's had mixed results at this point. Missouri 7. Then you go on down the list. North Carolina was 9. That didn't work out. Some of that is too. North Carolina brought in 41 guys from the transfer portal.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And a new head coach that may or may not want to be there.
Probably doesn't.
Anything else, Tim, before we get to Paulie's kicker?
No. What do you got, Paulie? Yesterday was a good kicker. I'm excited for this one.
Dateline Hawaii. You guys know who Natalie Grabow is?
I can't say that I do.
Name ring a bell?
No.
It shouldn't. At the age of 59, she realized, I got to make a change in my life. Because she couldn't swim, Steve.
Okay.
At the age of 80, do you know what she did?
She swam.
Swam a long distance.
She finished the Ironman triathlon.
At 80?
In Hawaii, making her the oldest person to ever finish the Ironman triathlon. She swam 2.4 miles, hopped on her bike, and rolled 112 miles.
So there's still
She
hope
ran
for you, Paulie.
26.2 miles. I'm exhausted reading this. That's outrageous.
You said once on the show that you couldn't run a mile. Maybe at 80 years old, you'll run a marathon.
No.
We'll talk about you.
No. By the time I'm 80, I'm going to be the guy on one of those electric carts at Wegmans, riding around. I'm going to have a hover round.
You have any desire, Tim, to do a triathlon?
No, obviously not.
Any desire? Like no,
do you wish you could?
Those people are wired different.
I
man.
find it amazing that people can do marathons. I can run like a 5K and then I just can't do it. I mean, it feels like the training would take forever. And
that's the thing with triathlons, like the swim, like you start with the swim, right? And you're like, okay, that's a lengthy swim, but you swim and then you bike and then you got to run a marathon after that. Like that's
awful.
That's the part that I feel like, to your point, Paulie, they are wired different. Yes.
Man, no. I don't know what you get out of it.
Personal satisfaction.
I can do a lot of. Not even going to touch that one. I can do a lot of things quicker and get personal satisfaction than swimming 2 miles.
I mean, it's pushing your limits. It's it's mental toughness.
And be just as exhausted.
I was trying to cut you off, but you wouldn't let me.
That takes a partner, though, that also wants to do it.
Yeah, no, not necessarily.
No, okay. That's fair.
Helps you get a quick
I
nap.
I was trying to cut you off, and I couldn't quite get there. But, pushing your limits, it's, self-discipline. I mean, there's definitely some things that come from it, but, man.
Steve was just complaining about having to do extra work to think of songs. Now he's lecturing us on.
No, I'm not lecturing you about anything.
On the old. Have you ever thought of running a marathon? Or I haven't even thought of running the 5Ks or anything.
I mean, I've done 5Ks before, but I don't. Listen, I don't love just running.
I get bored.
Right. Like I enjoy being physically active and playing sports, and like I've played sports my whole life and doing things, or like hiking or walking or skiing or like whatever. But like just the thought of like running, I do find it boring, like you, Tim.
Yeah.
I'll run like a couple miles.
I
or
think
whatever,
it's exhausting.
But the thought of running 26, it just I don't know.
When people talk about running, I can feel my lungs like hurt.
Yeah.
Back when I used to do the show with Daniel Baldwin, we all went up and played basketball at the Mello Center. And I almost died, I think. Like, I couldn't breathe after, like, running full court. I used to go from 9 a.m. till 6 at night running up and down the court. And now it was, I can't breathe after one run down the court. And it's horrible.
Yeah.
I like to just walk on the treadmill or outside, and I put music on. On the treadmill, I'll put the YouTube on. Is that what the kids call it? The YouTube?
The YouTube?
Yeah, and I watch videos. I've become addicted to a new thing, and I think I'm way behind on this guy, on his popularity. Mr. Ballin. You ever heard of him?
Don't know who that is.
Oh, he's so fun. He tells like ghost stories and unusual deaths and like story form.
It sounds right up your alley.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Guy's great.
Okay.
Check him out, Mr. Ballin.
All right, I will.
Book him.
Or maybe I won't. I don't know.
Michael Antonio says Mr. Ballin is awesome. Thank you.
All right, there you go. Never heard of him. We'll take a time out. I have heard of Matt Park, voice of the Orange. Joins us next on ESPN Radio.
You guys ever see the movie Air? It's like Michael Jordan, David Falk with Matt Damon. You didn't see it? It's funny. At the end of the movie, Matt Damon's character is like pudgier than normal, and he's playing like his agent, I think. And the whole premise is like when they signed him to the Nike deal, and so he's like trying to sell these Nike shoes, basically, or trying to promote it. Then at the end of the movie, he like throws them on and starts to run on a track, and like he's like, "Oh, I'll give it a shot," and he runs for like 10 seconds, and then he just stops, and he's like, "This is awful." And then like that's how the movie ends. Yeah,
that's funny.
Basically.
I don't want to be mauled to death.
So on Saturday for the half alumni show and half our show, do we frame the whole thing like it's the pregame show from the quad?
Yeah, I think so. How
Yeah.
have you normally done it? This is
Well, in the past, I haven't hosted the first half hour. It's been Kim and Chris.
Oh. Yeah, just
You don't care.
just call it a very special pregame.
All right.
Whatever they call it that the whole time, but just say it's the Romano pregame show.
Gotcha.
If I was doing stories on YouTube, I would probably do murder mysteries, unsolved mysteries. There's another good one that's called Brew, and it's like a cartoon character that tells the stories of cold cases, and it's awesome. No Newhouse afternoons this year, guys. No. That's just the way the cookie TV picks the times.
Yeah, I can tell you with 100% certainty that the alumni office was not hoping for 7:30. That was completely a TV decision.
Is Wes stuck? Is Wes doing the game again?
I'm not sure.
3 straight games for him? Find out why he hates Syracuse so much. I love that comment comes up every time we have him on. He usually gets, it's 99% positive, but there's always that one. Oh, why does he hate Syracuse?
Wes is awesome.
He thinks you're the best part of the show, Steve. I don't know if you know that.
Maybe that's why I think he's awesome. No, I think he's awesome anyway.
Think he's ever run a triathlon?
Could ask him.
You ever thought about being a triathlete? Let's ask him. Number 2, Steve, on my favorite rap songs from the 80s. This was also another tough decision of what Public Enemy song to pick, because you cannot have a list without Public Enemy.
So this would have been the one that I would pick too.
Rebel Without a Pause.
So I could cross this one off my list.
It could still be your favorite, Steve.
I'm not going to waste one of my songs on one that you played. So you covered it.
You're just not.
You covered it.
You are not a rule follower.
It's tough. I've got more than 7, so I can eliminate that one now. As we are pleased to be joined now by Voice of the Orange, Matt Park. Go ahead, Paul.
Matt, we were just talking about an 80-year-old finished the Ironman triathlon in Hawaii. Have you ever done anything? Like, I've never done a 5K, anything. Have you ever done any competitive running or anything like that?
No. I wouldn't run from here to the corner at the end of the block. I hated running. Even just back to, playing sports and running a few laps to warm up before practice or whatever. Hated it. I was slow. I didn't probably breathe right. It's the worst.
Yeah, I agree.
I do have to tell you guys, though, I've been perseverating on something from exactly a week ago that we forgot. In the break, I don't know if it was on the air or during the break, a week ago at this time, and then we never paid it off. Mirepoix, Paulie, is the word you're looking for for another SAT word.
Yes.
Celery,
carrots, and onions. Yes.
I don't think I've ever heard that word.
I've never heard of perseverate, so.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get a 3.9, but I know a little bit.
Yeah, perseverate made me stop in my tracks. I had to be like, what the hell did you just say?
All right, fair enough. All right, let's talk some SU sports here. We'll get into basketball here in a moment, coming off SU Basketball Media Day, but we start with the football team. Coming off a bye week, is it fair to expect that this team's going to look considerably different, Matt, than what we saw the last time out? Like, how much can 2 weeks off for a team and a quarterback, I guess, in particular, help out a team going into the second half of the year now?
I think in this particular situation, a lot of Ricky Collins' struggles, and of course the quarterback impacts the rest of the team, but a lot of Ricky's struggles to me look to just being not really quite up for the moment yet. He's obviously got skills, or he wouldn't have gotten this far. He wouldn't have been recruited by LSU. He wouldn't have had some of the upbringing and the accolades that he's gotten to this point. And, I trust in somebody like Annunzio Campanelli, who's seen a lot of quarterbacks in his time, who really thinks he's capable. That doesn't mean he's going to be a finished product right out of the box, and he hasn't been, clearly. The biggest thing for me to look for in this game is just clean up the easy stuff. Take the layups. That was my sort of disappointment in the SMU game. That he's got Yasin Willis open at the goal line and he throws it behind him in an uncatchable ball. And those types of things have happened. The interceptions in some cases have been in that category, just too easy. And he's got to just kind of make the right play, make the easy play. Nobody's expecting him to be all conference right now. So I do think you can improve that in 2 weeks of practice time since his last game. And he's had so little experience that every little bit is obviously incrementally a big deal. So I think that's better. I think bye week gets you healthier. I think this whole idea of all the other position groups pitching in should be in a better position with just more time than it has been these first couple of weeks with Ricky starting.
Matt, I don't know if you heard Coach Brown on with us earlier, but Steve asked him about what about the question made him upset about the maybe getting another job, and he said it was the fact that they referred to the other jobs as big time jobs, insinuating that this wasn't. What do you make of that?
I probably come off as a little confusing because I tend to see it from different angles. First off, I'm sitting here in the Newhouse School. The First Amendment is painted on the wall just outside here. From a journalism background, virtually every question is fair game. Virtually every. I mean, we can all, with common sense, know the exceptions that hit below the belt to a large degree, and I didn't think that one did. I thought it was an appropriate question to ask. Maybe not in quite the way that it was asked, but every coach, every reasonable coach in the country got asked this week, hey, there's a lot of openings. How does this impact you? So I don't think that's unfair. I also don't think the newsmaker standing at the podium, again, within reason, has the right to tell the media questioning them what questions to ask and not ask. So that's just a background. That being said, I did hear Fran on the show today. I was in the press conference on Monday. I absolutely know where he's coming from, and he probably could have articulated that even better Monday. I thought he did a good job on your show earlier today, that was really the aspect of the question that got him. Not that he was offended at being asked, hey, what happens if your name gets thrown around for another job? Just the idea that insinuating that his current job is less than, or there's somewhere else he should be. I 100% understand that doesn't always feel good. It's maybe sometimes meant as a compliment. It doesn't come off that way all the time. So I don't really see anybody in the wrong here, whether it was Javon who asked the question or Fran and the way he answered it. It's all fair game. Just live with the consequence. If you ask a question like that, you got to be at least cognizant that it may rub somebody the wrong way. If you have a position like a head football coach in this day and age, you've got to be ready for being asked a lot of questions and put a smile on your face and do your best to answer them. So no harm, no foul as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, really well said, Matt. I agree with you 100%. I don't think anybody was in the wrong, and we have Javon on the show many times, and I think he does a good job. And I think Fran clarified today what bothered him about the question. I want to go back to something you said a moment ago about the quarterback going down can affect everybody on the team, and that's something that's come up on our show here the last couple of weeks. That offensively we can kind of understand the struggles because they're dealing with a new quarterback. Defensively, it seems like. What happened? They played so well against Clemson, and then the last two games defensively, they haven't. Do you think that there has been a trickle-down effect to some degree, like, wind out of the sails of the entire team? Has the injury to Steve Angeli, in your opinion, affected the defense as well in terms of, mentally, but also field position-wise and, just, feeling like they got to do more to stay in games?
Well, clearly it does impact field position. I mean, that's the nature of the game. That's kind of a given. Ricky Collins isn't out there missing tackles.
Right.
Okay. That being said, I think it's really more the game flow, and you want to use the expression wind out of sails. I think that there's something to that. They've been out of these games. They were out of the Tennessee game. They played it even in the last three quarters, but they were out of it and just kind of hung in and made a threat there. We're a little bit short of making a real threat to come back to make it a one possession kind of game. But the Duke game at home, buried at the jump, and the SMU game probably not as close as the final score looked. So, there's something to be said for that. I don't think you can't have that. That the defense has got to be better if you want to get to where you think you can with this team and with this level of talent. I do think all that's fixable. When you hear Coach Brown talk about the way they've spent the bye week and what they're working on and their self-scouting, and they recognize that they haven't tackled well enough and they haven't been fundamentally strong enough. So I think the theme of the week, there's a couple of them, and part of it is just getting back to the basics of tackle the ball carrier, and when you're on offense, run the ball and kind of take care of the basic easy things. I think if they can clean that up a little bit, they're a long way toward improvement.
When you look at this Pitt team that, you're getting ready to call this game Saturday, and they've got this freshman quarterback who has been lights out through two starts, Mason Henschel, who's got 6 touchdown passes, 2 picks in those 2 starts. He's gone over 300 yards in both games. What stands out to you about him and this offense that's coming here on Saturday?
Well, I think they've got a lot of weapons, that Desmond Reed, one of the top players in the conference, they just seem to have a lot around him. And I think on paper, so does Syracuse. But I think it's going to an inexperienced quarterback is a flip of a coin. And so far, it hasn't worked out to Syracuse's liking, and it has for Pittsburgh. We kind of were looking it up. Games started by freshmen are about a 50-50 proposition across the country. And some of the teams that are doing great with freshmen are great all the way around. BYU and Notre Dame and Ohio State are finding a way to make it happen. Pitt is actually not that far off from being undefeated, right? They've got 2 losses, both basically by a possession. One was on the final play of the game. So I think Pitt's pretty decent. Their defense travels, and so Henschel's obviously very good, and they like him a lot and what he brings to the table. He's also been surrounded by a lot.
All right, let's switch gears. We'll talk some basketball while we have you. SU Basketball Media Day yesterday. Normally we feel like we know a little bit more about the team at this stage, but there's only 2 guys back in JJ and Donnie. Everybody else is new, either transfers or freshmen. Did anything stand out to you from Media Day yesterday? Anything that was said by Coach Autry or any of the players?
I got to tell you, I whiffed on it. I had every intention of being there, and I had a meeting just prior that we got carried away with, and it went far longer than I anticipated, so I never ended up making it over to Mello just down the street. I kind of poked around at some of the things and the reporting on it. No surprise at all that Red's tone is turn the page, new team, here we go. I mean, I think that's been months in the making. And I'm not going to say, he wouldn't say that it started before the end of last year, other than in the totally up and up. You always got to be working on recruiting your next group and everything, right? But getting the ducks in the row to hit the transfer portal in a better way than they did a year ago, that's been months in the making. And bringing this group together, identifying who's a fit, has been a long time coming. So this group is of Adrian Autry. He loves these guys, and they're here because he hand selected them with the assistance of Alex Klein. And so that's going to be a tone here. I think there's going to, when we're on the show next week and the week after, we're going to talk about the allocation of minutes and the sort of introduction of each of these new pieces, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there are a lot of them. And with that being said, again, Donnie and JJ aside, who's the player you're most excited to see, or you can't wait to see them out there in a Syracuse uniform and what they kind of bring to the table, aside from the two guys that we know about?
It's interesting because you've got, of course, impact freshmen, and I think in some cases some surprising freshmen potentially. How much can Aaron Womack and Luke Fennell take on as freshmen? We know Sadiq White will be in the mix. We know Kyan Anthony's a scorer that will be in the mix. But these new players, to me, Nate Kings is a big swing guy. I am excited about Nathan George and the steadying influence he brings and the way he ought to improve everybody around him. So those are real X factors. But we could really go on and list. It remains to be seen exactly how many are going to play in time. It's going to be more than we're accustomed to here recently, I think. And, there could be 10-ish kind of guys that, give it a month, that we're talking about that have sort of made a mark, and that's why when you ask who you excited to see or intrigued to see, it's a lot of them, including Donnie Freeman, by the way, because I think he has a real chance to make a step forward off of what was a very promising start to his freshman campaign, cut short due to injury. What are the next steps for him and his maturation? I still think, every expectation is he's going to be the best player on the team and on a lot of nights with the best player on the floor. So I'm excited for him. But to answer your question, to me, it comes to I think we know what you got in Nathan George, and then the next one is Nate Kings for me. A couple of the other categories, Tyler Betsy, William Kyle, in particular, are guys that just, I guess, weren't fits where they went first. They're going to have much bigger roles here than Betsy had at Cincinnati or Kyle had at UCLA. There's a lot of promise in what they bring to the table. Just ducking in on practice a little bit last week, I think those guys are like, wow, they make you kind of think about the way they play. So that's a long-winded answer to that question, but I think it's a lot of folks.
You guys ready for a stat?
Yeah.
According to the Oxford English Dictionary, perseverate is used by humans 0.04 times per million words spoken in English, and it would be unlikely to be recognized in everyday speech.
All right. Well, we're upping the average on this show.
I would take the under.
All right, Matt. Fran Brown Show tonight over at Myers Creek. We'll see you over there.
Sounds good.
Okay. Voice of the Orange, Matt Park, joining us here. We'll hit a timeout. We'll wrap things up on the other side. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
Yeah, because you're not really like Ellen. Don't perseverate on that promo. Just it'll be gone.
Can't make any promises. The worst is when it's something like that on a Friday, and then it plays Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Inner Harbor. I don't think they're going to win a game in that series, but they might win one. Do you know? Can you guess who the last artist is?
So I thought it was going to be Eric B. and Rakim, but you already played Eric B. So.
No, I didn't.
Didn't you?
No.
So it was going to be Eric B. and Rakim?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you even listen to this show?
Well, then I was right.
Correct. You know what song?
I don't. I
can't go wrong.
Ain't No Joke would be probably my favorite. Trying to think if you've ever said what your favorite song is. I don't know.
The reason this is number one for me, it's like one of the first rap songs that I was like, this is different and this is really freaking good and I'm into this. You gotta keep them persevering. That's funny. Yeah. I don't know how you could, I don't know if you expect. That was actually a poll. Would you rather drown or burn to death? We did. 88% said drown, Steve.
Yeah, I think so. I don't want either thing to happen to me, but I would probably go drown. I think you would go quicker than if you burned to death.
I feel like I don't.
And it would be less painful.
Yeah, but
burning to death would be awful.
The terror of drowning.
Both. I mean, well, both things are terrifying. But I think that's why I said I think you want to go quicker. I think the drowning would happen quicker than the burning would. Why are we talking about this?
Mauled by. I just said I wouldn't want to get mauled by an animal either. Like getting eaten by something is terrifying, because you would live like you would live through part of.
Yeah, it would be painful and it would be slow. You don't want it slow.
And you would watch yourself be eaten. My number one rap song from the 80s when I was in high school, Steve. Eric B. is President by Eric B. and Rakim.
Can't argue with it.
Tomorrow's
it's a good one.
Topic will be Tim Leonard's guilty pleasure songs. By the way, great job with the graphics. Can you tell the story of how you came up with the Stephen Fonte cartoon character that you posted on social media? What I mean, how descriptive did you have to be to get that exact image of Stephen Fonte? I mean, it looked just like him.
It did look a lot like him. That's the amazing thing. It was a ChatGPT search of generic sports anchor holding a CD that says Paul Davis Cool Night. And we popped it up, and I was out there with Tim Backer, and he was like, oh my God, that's Steve. Like, it looks just like you.
I mean, it was crazy that you had to just put generic newscaster and Stephen Fonte.
It even had the Channel 9 in the. Did you see that? Like in the upper right corner.
You added that. Come on.
I mean, I will say, first I put in your headshot, and I was like,
okay,
can you make a...
Yeah.
And they were like, no, that's copyright because you're an identifiable figure.
Oh,
you're
wow,
very important.
okay,
Yeah.
right.
Well, they probably just saw it was off a website and,
Right.
So maybe there was something like... But then I just asked generic sports anchor, and...
It did look a lot like me. That's funny that's
even
what
the
that
hair was parted perfectly.
I think we should actually use those two characters as the rotating pictures of us on the Q Sports Talk.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I have for my show. Yeah, because Tim did that for me, and it looks a lot like me also. So it's like me in a little car.
AI is crazy.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is. That's funny, though.
Yeah, for Paulie, I kept having to, I was like, put a snarky radio engineer with the Padres hat, and then I was like, add the Burger King on the side. I had to get a little more creative. It doesn't really look like Paulie.
Someone wants to ask where you can see any of our social medias, Q Sports Talk. You can see the cartoon characters. They came out great.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. I mean, it does. It looks a lot like us. Do you have your list done, Tim, is the question for tomorrow?
No, I've got to do some homework.
Yeah.
Got to do some work on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've had plenty of time. You got like a substitute teacher day.
You're right.
Get more homework done, and you didn't do it.
I have brainstormed a little bit. So once I sit down tonight and pull up my Spotify, I'll have a couple songs in mind, but I have not created the list.
When do you need my list for Monday? Sunday night?
Yeah, or in the morning.
Okay.
On Monday.
All right.
All right. Siskel and Ebert say it's the most interesting radio show on the air, Steve. Did you know? 2 big thumbs up. Drive Time with Tim Leonard.
Everybody's listening.
There.
Everybody's listening.
Is that the old movie guy? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Wasn't he known for like hating every movie?
There were two guys, Siskel and Ebert. There's two guys.
I sent those two hated each other.
Roger Ebert, right?
Yeah. Those two hated each other, and the outtakes of that show were brutal. The way they talked to each other.
Why did they hate each other?
I don't know.
Yeah,
but they were magic together.
Yep.
It's like us. Steve and I hate each other.
We do. Off air, hate each other. Never speak. All right, Tim, what do you got coming up on the show tonight?
We're going to do a full scouting report on Pittsburgh. Loyal listeners know it's Scouting Report Thursday. I don't know if Paulie knows that.
Oh, yeah, I knew. I listen all the time.
Right.
Favorite show.
You said the other day that all you do in the car is listen to music, so I don't know how much you're really listening.
I'm not listening right now. Are either Siskel and Ebert alive? They can't be, right?
Siskel is definitely not with us anymore.
1999.
I think they've both passed away, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They both passed away?
I don't know. Siskel is no longer.
I feel like I missed out. This seems like it was great content.
They're both gone.
Yeah, I thought they were
for
both,
a long time.
Yeah, I thought they both passed away.
Yeah, they were old when I was a kid. Yeah.
Okay, so with that, we're ending on that note, apparently. We're out of time.
That's 2 big thumbs down. That makes me sad.
Tim's coming up at 5 o'clock, and then it'll be me and Tim tomorrow, leading you into the weekend, getting you set for Syracuse and Pittsburgh. We got to run. For Paulie, for Tim, I'm Steve. Enjoy the rest of the day, everybody. We're back at it noon tomorrow.